My name is Megan Conkus. I am a homeschool mom. We have 2 kids. My husband and I, we run a small business of heavy diesel repair. So I not only homeschool, but I try to manage the business as best as I can. So growing up, I had ADHD. From that, I was put on tons of medications. Nothing ever worked. And so, 37 years old, I have Owen, and I'm still on all these medications, and I went, okay, I'm not gonna do this anymore. Like, this was before, he arrived. I stopped everything, cold turkey, and just, that's it, I'm done. So then Miles comes along, and Miles is born with trisomy 21, so he has Down syndrome. We used to be an extremely active homeschool family. We would be going to pottery. We would be out and about around people all the time. We would do any kind of homeschool activity that would come up, and it would be like, okay, we found it, let's go. We have 10 minutes, get out the door. And when Miles was diagnosed with type 1, it was one of those things that we were like, oh, wait a minute, he has to eat. We have to get his blood sugar at a certain level. We have to check him. And basically it was stalling us. So we were starting to miss things. Then we were having issues with Miles and blood sugar going up way too high for unknown reasons. So it would be, we'd get there and Owen would start some of his activity, and I'd be like, we gotta go because Miles' blood sugar isn't well, Miles is really uncomfortable, something is wrong, I'm not sure.
Miles, at the time, was a very fragile child in many ways. But in Miles's case, he was always very extra clingy to mom, dad, grandma, brother. He would not come to just anybody. Now, some of that probably is, age. The fact that he's been through a lot medically, is probably very fearful of the medical community, which is kind of natural. But also, he is, until recently, been a nonverbal child. His only means of communication is sign language.
I called and I said, look, you've got to give it to me first. My body can handle it. It's been through everything and more in life. So give it to me first and we'll see how he is.
Normally, we would have done an IV push, actually just putting a small needle into the vein and pushing the material in slowly. With Miles, again, he was very distraught, very distrustful of the medical community. There was no way we were going to be able to get him to sit still for an IV. So we chose the route typically in the top of the thigh, which is where we usually will end up giving vaccines and other things. And we administered the RPA, made it a little bit more concentrated, and then we actually administered it as a thigh injection.
The first 2 to 4 weeks with Miles after treatment were awesome, absolutely awesome. We worked on scissor skills. Oh, his, small motor.
Has exploded.
His language exploded, but like fine motor skills went just wonderful things. He showed interest in wanting to learn using his scissors, and that has been a struggle. He has never wanted to do fine motor skills. He doesn't like it. And so we pulled out the plate scissors and Play-Doh, and he started cutting through the Play-Doh, and it was wonderful. His gross motor skills, he is trying so very hard to run, and it is the most adorable thing. And he loves chasing his brother through the house or the dog, going into his kitchen and making things in the kitchen, and then he runs them to his big brother to give him his food and stuff. Language, he has so many signs. He primarily uses sign language in the home and out in public. The week we did the treatment, Miles was outside walking through the yard, and he looked down at his feet, and there was a stick there, and he looked down, he signed stick, but then he said the word stick. And Owen and I just looked at each other in shock, like, wow, I can't believe this came out. So Owen grabbed bubbles and went outside, and he was blowing bubbles around Miles, and Miles was just looking around and signing bubble, and the word bubble came out of his mouth.
Miles we actually just measured him. He's an inch taller, and in 6 weeks, he's gained about 4.5 or 5 pounds. And this is a child that was labeled by his pediatric endocrinologist as failure to thrive. He's eating, he's growing, and he's actually singing the ABC song. Again, this was a child that was nonverbal, other than he had about 100, maybe 125 signs, and that was his only means of communication. And he's listening, and he's picking up, and he's wanting to communicate. That's huge.